Not every Marvel superhero wears a cape. Some people don't even call themselves heroes at all. And there's something differently entirely to them. And that's why many heroes have a darker side. And others they don't want to show out in public. And this is really different entirely for me. And this is like one of those heroes I'm going to be talking about that's really more of the bad side than good. What's up, everybody? My name is Nate, and on this 26th episode of The Road to Avengers Doomsday, we're talking about one of Marvel's most grounded and brutal adaptations ever, The Punisher, released in 2004. So I hope you guys are ready to see a revenge-driven story that traded superpowers for raw emotion, realism, and pain. And I'm just excited to break down this movie, so without further ado, let's get started. By 2004, Marvel movies were starting to see their identities up and high. We've had successes like Spider-Man 2 with its emotional depth and storyline, and the expanding world for the X-Men in X2. But The Punisher decided to go in a complete different direction. They decided to have no costumes, no flashy powers, and no world-ending threats. All it has was just a man on a mission of vengeance. This is a movie about Frank Castle, aka The Punisher, who is played brilliantly by Thomas Jane. And honestly, he really does fit the role. Jane brings a quiet intensity for the character. He's not overly talkative. He's not trying to be charismatic. He's a broken man. And that's exactly what Frank Castle should be. And this movie really does a great job of how to adapt a brutal MCU character in this movie. So the story begins with Frank Castle as an undercover FBI agent, but after a mission goes extremely wrong, he becomes a target of a most powerful crime boss, Howard Saint, played by the amazing and talented John Travolta. What follows is one of the most tragic origin stories for a Marvel character like him. Frank Castle's entire family is unalived. This is not just loss, this is a complete destruction on his life. And from that moment on, Frank Castle dies and the Punisher was born. Now this is where the movie stands out. Frank Castle isn't just trying to save the world. No. He's not trying to be a hero. He wants revenge. He's willing to go as far as it takes it. That moral gray area makes the Punisher very different from other Marvel movies at the time, and a little interesting than the previous Punisher movie that I covered a couple weeks ago. That was the 1989 adaptation. The main villain, that is known as Howard Saint, serves as the emotional core for Frank's revenge. Instead of being a larger-than-life comic book villain, he's a grounded crime boss with power and influence. But the film focuses more on Frank's psychological warfare against him. Frank doesn't just attack physically. He breaks Saint's life apart piece by piece, which leads to one of the most unique revenge arcs in a superhero film. Now let's talk about the action style, because this one here hits the home run from many fans, especially me when I rewatch it. The action in The Punisher is really gritty and grounded. We got all types of fights and insane choreography that feels over the top, and it's less about spectacle. It's more about an impact. And the standout movements, that Russian fight scene, brutal, intense, and unforgivable. It's just the filmmakers were really trying to show how to do a proper Punisher movie, unlike the 1989 adaptation. This is how it's done. And you may wonder, why is this movie so divisive? For some fans, The Punisher works really well. They appreciate the darker tone and grounded storyline. For others, it just feels very slow. The pacing isn't just as fast as the typical action films. And the focus on the psychological revenge over constant action can be a hit or miss. For my opinion, I find the storyline pretty great. It shows how to do a proper movie about one of Marvel's most intense anti-heroes of all time. And this movie does it extremely well. So, when The Punisher came out in 2004, it received mixed reviews. But over time, like many other films I've talked about some lists now or some old Marvel stuff, it received a bit of a cult following. Fans began to appreciate its serious tone, its character focus, and willingness to be different. It showed that Marvel Studios didn't have to follow one formula. It could be many others. And on the road to Avengers Doomsday, The Punisher represents something important: experimentation. Marvel was trying to figure things out, testing different tones, styles, and characters. Some worked better than others, but every film helped shape what it could come next. And in conclusion, The Punisher isn't just about heroes. It's about loss and pain and the consequences of revenge. A dark chapter in Marvel history, but a very important one. If you enjoyed this episode of 8 Reviews, make sure you guys give a like, subscribe, and let me know down below in the comments. Do you prefer this grounded Punisher movie than the other ones we got? Or you're cool with this one? Let me know down in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next part as we continue the journey to Avengers Doomsday. Peace and be good people.